it just seems to me that when you tell me a story about the Antichrist coming to power and using the fear of technological change to sort of impose order on the world, I feel like that Antichrist would maybe be using the tools that you were building, right? Like, wouldn't the Antichrist be like, great, we're not going to have any more technological progress, but I really like what Palantir has done. Yes. You would prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
yes,
I don't know. I would.
Hi everyone, JJ here. Welcome back. Yes, well, tech billionaire Peter Thiel's deranged antichrist fixation. Yes, that's right. If you don't know much about Peter Thiel, you'll learn a bit today. I know some people in the comments when I've done videos like this before don't really know who he is yet. Some people do, some people don't. He was an investor in Facebook early on, the first investor, I believe, founder of Palantir, questionable tech company Palantir when it comes to surveillance. And it turns out he's been doing a series of talks about the Antichrist. That's right. Now, he's an enthusiast of far-right politics as well, MAGA supporter, JD Vance funder, in fact. So let's see what it's all about. This wasn't supposed to leak out, or maybe it was, and he's just some sort of promotion about it that was supposedly secret, but not. Inside billionaire Peter Thiel's private lectures, warnings of the Antichrist and U.S. destruction. So this is the Washington Post. The Washington Post reviewed leaked audio from 4 off-the-record lectures the tech investor delivered in San Francisco over the past month that fused beliefs about religion and technology and focusing on the Antichrist. Now, why is he doing this? Is it for political purposes that he's focusing on the Antichrist? Perhaps. Let's have a look. And we'll see some video of him talking later because what he says is pretty unhinged. It's not really palatable for people not in the tech community, talking about transhumanism. Not transgenderism, but transhumanism. So we'll get into that. So there he is there. I don't know why he always looks so sweaty and oily. Perhaps he's intaking infusion of teenage blood or something. It wouldn't surprise me. That is known to be actually a thing in Silicon Valley. Brian Johnson said that he infused blood from his teenage son. I kid you not. Anyway, tech billionaire Peter Thiel recently warned that Swedish activist Greta Thunberg and critics of technology or artificial intelligence are legionnaires of the Antichrist. That's right. In private lectures on Christianity that connected government oversight of Silicon Valley to an apocalyptic future. That's right. He's saying that anybody against his AI, Palantir is an AI company really involved in surveillance, working with government. I mean, really. And he's saying that anybody against that could be the Antichrist or certain people. Now, in 4 roughly 2-hour lectures, 4 2-hour lectures about this, not just one lecture. He's really getting into the subject, somewhat obsessed with it, which began last month and culminated Monday at the Commonwealth Club in San Francisco. Thiel laid out his religious views to a sold-out audience, told to keep contents off the record, according to an event listing. He argued that those who propose limits on technology development not only hinder business, but also threaten to usher in the destruction of the United States and an era of global totalitarian rule, according to the recordings. Wow, I mean, it's pretty extreme stuff, isn't it? Anybody who's against AI and regulation, it's really about not wanting regulation, isn't it? Fancy that. In the 17th, 18th century, the Antichrist would have been Dr. Strangelove, a scientist who did all this sort of evil, crazy science, Thiel said. In the 21st century, the Antichrist is a Luddite who wants to stop all science. It's someone like Greta or Eliezer, he said, referring to Thunberg and Eliezer Yudkowsky, a prominent critic of the tech industry's approach to AI. Now, Yudkowsky has been warning of a kind of doomsday. I guess it's kind of a doomsday cult, which is another story about AI destroying humanity. which he has been warning about, wanting to slow it down a little bit. And there are others, accelerationists like Thiel, who want no regulation whatsoever. Although it has to be said, he has been wanting to build his own kind of doomsday bunker. As it happens to be in New Zealand. Presumably he can escape if things start to go badly for him in the US. Now, Turnberg has criticized global capitalism as a driver of environmental degradation, and Yudkowsky advocates for limiting AI research to prevent the technology from surpassing human intelligence. Now, as it happens, Thiel previously funded Yudkowsky's work, but said in September that he now is embarrassed by the association and that the AI critic and others like him have become deranged. But this seems pretty deranged, what he's saying, accusing Greta of being the Antichrist. I mean, come on. Is he doing this for political purposes, I wonder? Is he really just trying to get attention by saying this, although they're supposed to be private recordings? So presumably he does actually believe this, or is he just using this for his own kind of political purposes? Thiel's lectures come at a time of rising Christian nationalism in the United States. Aha, fancy that. So he's playing into that. Is he trying to convince Christians to his way of thinking? Now, he does talk about transhumanism, which is a tech concept that a lot of people don't really know about, but it really is kind of popular in Silicon Valley, where these people think that, AI is going to develop really quickly. And once it gets past the tech singularity, where, the AI is much more intelligent than humans, in fact, more intelligent than all humans, then that people will be able to upload their own intelligence, their mind, up to AI and become part of it. But he really can't talk about that in public because people think that he is kind of deranged. So maybe he's using this concept to really get to these people, the Christian people, to the mainstream, thinking of a way to get it out there into the mainstream, perhaps. This is some of the things that he has said about this previously, and he does come across as pretty deranged when it talks about this, but it is because of this, philosophy behind it, which a lot of people don't know about. As I said, not palatable to most people. Now, this is from the Kyle Kalinske show. He also done an episode about this. He likes to rail about the evil tech billionaires. The interviewer here sort of points out that maybe why wouldn't he be the Antichrist from what he's talking about? Let's get into it.
But it gets weirder. Here we go.
This is my very specific question for you, right? Is that you're an investor in AI. You're deeply invested in Palantir, in military technology, in technologies of surveillance, and technologies of warfare, and so on, right? And it just seems to me that when you tell me a story about the Antichrist coming to power and using the fear of technological change to sort of impose order on the world, I feel like that Antichrist would maybe be using the tools that you were building, right? Like, wouldn't the Antichrist be like, great, we're not going to have any more technological progress, but I really like what Palantir has done.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's funny, but it's a good point. So Thiel is blaming the Luddites for people who are against his AI technology, but he's involved in technology of digital surveillance, all-encompassing tech surveillance. He's involved in weapons, warfare. Why wouldn't he not be the Antichrist? He protests too much, you might think, in that point of view.
In other words, this is total psychological projection happening. This total projection happening by Peter Thiel. You're accusing Greta Thunberg, a 22-year-old autistic activist who's desperately trying to get food and water and clothes and medicine to starving babies in Gaza. Somehow she's the problem. The person who embodies the best of humanity and the revolutionary spirit of optimism and improving things and saving people and making their lives better and looking out for their basic needs. Somehow she's the problem. People who want to regulate AI. He didn't even say ban. He said regulate AI is unacceptable. And meanwhile, he's the person creating the tools of Antichrist.
Okay, so this is what Peter Thiel said about transhumanism. So if you're not familiar with that concept, he does talk a little bit about it, but he starts off with not being sure that the human race should survive. And what he really means about that is transhumanism.
You would prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
yes?
I don't know. I would
This is a long hesitation. This is a long hesitation.
There's so many questions implicit in this.
Should the human race survive?
Yes.
Okay.
But
I don't think you really wanted to say that.
I also,
But Greta's the Antichrist. I'm the Antichrist because we want to regulate AI and make sure it doesn't destroy everything and everyone. Make sure it doesn't quadruple your energy bills, right? We're the problem here. He's totally normal. He's totally fine. He can't directly answer if he wants humanity to survive.
would I
mean, at least Elon says he wants humanity to survive. I've done a lot of videos about Elon and his problems and being highly critical, but at least Elon can say he wants humanity to survive. He wants consciousness to survive, which is really what Peter Thiel means. He wants consciousness, but he doesn't care about the human body. He would like it to be uploaded. It's a digital entity. That's what he really means by this.
also would like us to radically solve these problems.
Right.
And so, it's always, I don't know, transhumanism is this, the ideal was this radical transformation where your human natural body gets transformed into an immortal body. And there's a critique of, let's say, the trans people in a sexual context, or a transvestite is someone who changes their clothes and cross dresses, and a transsexual is someone where you change your penis into a vagina. And we can then debate how well those surgeries work, but we want more transformation than that. The critique is not that it's weird and unnatural. It's so pathetically little. And okay, we want more than cross dressing or changing your sex organs. We want you to be able to change your heart and change your mind and change your whole body. And then Orthodox Christianity, by the way, the critique Orthodox.
Jesus Christ. These guys are transhumanists, right? So they want to like be able to download their consciousness into a computer and live forever. How is this any different from some like actual, cartoon villain type shit, superhero villain type shit? It really does sound like that to me.
Christianity has of this is these things don't go far enough. Like the transhuman.
That's such bullshit too, because the criticism from Christians of trans people, for example, and conservatives against trans people is like, oh, it's degeneracy, it's unnatural. They're not saying, oh, we support that you've changed, but we want you to change more. We want you to have an artificial heart as well. That's not what they say. You're making this shit up.
Yeah, I agree with Carl there. This is not what they say. If you listen to what Elon's saying, who's got a trans daughter, denies trans people, it's not that it's not going far enough. As Kyle says, so they're against that, but they're for transhumanism. Transitioning into a digital being, that's okay. What Peter Thiel's saying here, I guess if he does believe this, it's different to Elon, but generally the far right here, the MAGA people, MAGA supporters are totally against transgenderism. It's all over Elon's platform, people being transphobic. So what he's saying here is just bullshit. All right, let me know what you think of this, what you think of Peter Thiel and his obsession with the Antichrist, calling Greta the Antichrist, and people who are against regulation, any regulation at all. AI thinks it just should go. He should be able to do whatever he wants. The super rich billionaires should be able to do whatever they want and, turn out to be transhuman, uploading their consciousness to AI. Of course, it's going to be them first, right, if it's possible. But as I said, it's unpalatable to most people. So is this a way, when he's talking about the Antichrist and religion, is it a way to get those vast amounts of people in the US, the Christian nationalists, the right wing on his side? Is that what he's doing? I do kind of think that that's what he's really doing here. Some sort of palatable way that these bizarre concepts can get out to the masses. I think that's what it's all about. And maybe he'll get J.D. Vance to help with that, support him if he becomes president. I don't think he can do it with Trump. Trump's just not into this kind of stuff at all, I don't think. So let me know. And right now I'm going to put a related video right here and also a subscribe link. Do subscribe. And also on YouTube, you can join now. Hit that join button. Check it out. You get videos about 7 hours, early access, and priority reply to comments as well. Do get quite a lot of comments these days. So thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next one.